Welcome back to the news with Sage and the Rage.
I'm Sage.
And I'm Rage. And today we're going to talk about the new Blizzard esports arena that was opened in October 2017 for the Overwatch Contenders Season 1 playoffs. And how Blizzard got to this point, and how they've been an influential group in gaming in general, but now esports. And we're seeing that evolve and come to a whole new head with things that Blizzard are trying to push ahead with Overwatch, and now building their own arena for esports. And so it's cool to see the people that have been such a major influence over the years now building an arena to support the thing that they have influenced and helped create and mold.
Yeah, so today we're just going to kind of take a look back and see the road to arena that took us from where they were as a company in the beginning to where they are now.
And that starts with Blizzard's foundations and where they came from.
Yeah, Blizzard as a company was founded in February of 1991.
And their big first hit that was the influential piece was the original Warcraft Orcs and Humans.
Yeah, Orcs and Humans launched on November 23rd, 1994.
And this game was kind of the beginning of the RTS genre. Now, there were ones before it, but the original Warcraft Orcs and Humans was the thing that put Blizzard on the map and established what an RTS game could be, and what it could look like.
Yeah, it really did set up a lot of the foundations for what we know of as RTS today. And then Blizzard went on and built on that with Warcraft 2.
Which was released?
It was released in December of 1995.
So in 1995, Blizzard releases Warcraft 2 due to the success of the original Warcraft Orcs and Humans. And in that, it defines and refines and enhances upon graphics, unit control, gameplay, and even story. In Warcraft 1, the story was introduced just in little split screens where, we had some people talking and telling you the story. Whereas in Warcraft 2, the story kind of happened and you experienced it as the player as you controlled the units and the missions played out. And so story became a bigger role, and all of the things that we loved about the first RTS, Warcraft Orcs and Humans, now are enhanced in Warcraft 2. After Warcraft 2, Blizzard decides to try its hand at a different, maybe genre style of RTS in the form of StarCraft.
Yeah, if Warcraft was fantasy, StarCraft is their sci-fi series. And StarCraft launched on March 31st, 1998.
And StarCraft is kind of the beginning cornerstone of setting up for esports becoming a huge major thing. Now, there's obviously other factors, but it was StarCraft that started over in Eastern countries really becoming a big thing for competitive gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, StarCraft Brood Wars, in its height, 2005, had over 100,000 people in attendance live on the beaches of Busan to watch a popular match of StarCraft.
And so we see people starting to gather around video games in actual masses, physical presence, not just tuning in on Twitch or viewing, because that wasn't a thing back then, but to physically be a part of a video game and a competition coming out before them.
Yeah, other than small outlier events, this was not a thing before StarCraft happened.
So Blizzard once again has its hand in influencing what is modern esports today through the original StarCraft. After StarCraft, Blizzard decides to launch Warcraft 3.
Now this game really set the tone for what Warcraft would become, art style, gameplay and all that. But most importantly, Warcraft built up the esports scenes in ways that nobody at the time would have ever realized. From it, the mod Dota came about. And some of you might not know this, but Dota is what League of Legends and Dota 2 are founded upon. Now, if anyone wants to know, League of Legends has a total prize pool of $43.8 million over its time. It is number one on Twitch. And then you go to Dota 2, which has $126.2 million. That is 9 digits. That is just astronomical for an esport.
Yep, 9-digit prize pools over its lifetime. And it all owes its influences back to Warcraft 3. And then after Blizzard introduces Warcraft 3, they come out on the scene and release World of Warcraft, which changes the MMO landscape altogether. And World of Warcraft has reigned on top or been in one of the biggest MMOs. Nowadays, there's some other competitors rising up against Final Fantasy XIV Online or Realm Reborn, but it has remained the biggest influential force in MMO gaming for 12 years now. And from that, we got the arena, we got PvP competitions at BlizzCons and some esports that revolve around that. And even recently now, just in the last month again, we had the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, which had 40,000 viewers tuned in for the semifinals, and overall for the entire competition of the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, 26 million views worldwide. That's a huge influencer, and it all comes from World of Warcraft, which had its art style and other things set by Warcraft 3.
Yeah, it's all built on each other, and this is just another prime example of Blizzard's influence and involvement in the esports scene.
Absolutely. And then, after World of Warcraft, Blizzard produces and builds upon its StarCraft Enterprise. With StarCraft Enterprise. With StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, Wings of Liberty is colossal. It is one of the biggest esports still currently. It has 23.8 million prize pool over its life, 1,658 players, and 4,500 tournaments over its lifespan.
We see Blizzard again dipping its hand and influencing how esports keeps evolving and builds upon. After StarCraft 2 is launched, Blizzard throws out its hand at the card game scene in the form of Hearthstone.
The combination of chess and poker, we have Hearthstone, number 3 currently at the recording of this video on Twitch streams, and one of the most powerful esports currently, I'd say.
Absolutely.
It's different from stuff like Counter-Strike Go or even, StarCraft, but it's popular.
People enjoy it. And it does have its influence, and it just keeps growing. I mean, when you're number 3 total viewed on Twitch streams, is Hearthstone, that's a big game. It has an influence. And then, leading back to the arena, walking us through Blizzard's history, now we have Overwatch, which was released
May 24th, 2016.
And Overwatch has been a phenomenon. Now, is it all the way up there as the number 1 esport thing yet? But Blizzard has plans, even though it is not number 1, so to say.
No, it's still working its way up to top. But what Overwatch is doing is something that, to my knowledge, has never been tried before in esports. They're taking a note from the current sports of today, your football and your baseball, and they're making actual teams
that are based in their countries and their cities. And so to go through a list, Dallas, Texas has their own team for Overwatch called Fuel. Seoul, South Korea has their own team called the Seoul Dragons in South Korea. Then we have a team in Boston, and that team, the owner of the team in Boston, is also the owner of the New England Patriots NFL team. We have teams in New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Miami, Orlando, Shanghai, China. And so we see Overwatch bridging a gap not only in sports and esports and how these things work and building teams in these towns and countries, but also bringing the world together inside of a competitive gameplay. And so this all goes back to Blizzard building their arena, their first one that they've ever put together, and opening it up for the Overwatch playoffs. And what an amazing thing for a company to have this much influence on gaming as a whole and continue to be a big part of that influence.
I mean, without Blizzard, the esports scene we have today would look vastly different. It might not even be anywhere near as strong as it is now.
Exactly. So Sage and I wanted to put this piece together to say this arena symbolizes a lot more than just a place for gamers to come together and watch sports live, but it represents a history of a company that has influenced us all as gamers and how we watch gaming and how we see gaming as a source of entertainment with millions of dollars pumped into it, with tons of developers and all different games, but Blizzard being a major hand of influence over the years.
Gaming is no longer just a hobby anymore. You can make a living out of your love for gaming.
And Blizzard is a company that has helped continue to push that. And if their future shows anything in resemblance of their past, they will continue to be a massive influence in that gaming community.
I couldn't agree more.
I'm Rage.
I'm Sage, and thanks for watching.
If you like this content and you want to see more little pieces done together and news like this, like and subscribe, share with somebody you know, and thank you so much for your support on the channel thus far.
Peace.